I bet you everybody's been waiting for this day to come, haven't you? Perseverance pays off. I think we started this effort when I was a council member in Ward 7, and we've hung with this, and boy, we got it done. I mean, this is not the ribbon cutting, obviously, but this is an important day in terms of saying that we're moving forward. This is actually a nice complex anyway, you know, even with what we have here, but this is going to add a lot more to it with the construction of the building. This will be a community center, not a recreation center, okay? Y'all understand what I'm saying? It's a community center because there'll be a little bit of everything here for everybody, as the kids say. You know, by the way, if you look at our master plan, our Play DC master plan, it talks about recreation centers and it talks about community centers. And we have a way of categorizing them now. So this fits the definition of being a community center. We've been, I guess, working on the design for this since the fall of 2013 and been in the pre-construction phase and so on and so forth. And even before that, there were about 15 meetings of bringing the community together to make sure that this building reflected exactly what folks wanted here. I know there were probably people who thought at times it wasn't going to happen, but I think most people who know me know that there's no give up in my game. I just don't do that. And when we make a commitment to do something, we're going to get it done, especially on the east end of the city. The east end of this city for so many years was disappointed. Investments were made elsewhere and not here. But we've made a lot of investments on the east end of the District of Columbia in the last 3 years and 9 months, and this is another one. I was just talking to Miss Woody, and she said, "Is this it? Is this really going to happen now?" I said, "Well, you know, the proof is in the $16 million that's in the budget to be able to make this happen." And the proof is also in the fact that we have a general contractor that's identified who essentially is, right, Brian, ready to start work virtually immediately. So, and by the way, this will be creatively named the Ridge Road Community Center. For those who don't know, this will be an 18,000 square foot building that will include an indoor gymnasium. There will be a lounge that will be dedicated to our seniors. I just came from speaking this morning to an age-friendly group that's working on the villages, and that is a growing concept in the District of Columbia, nationally actually. But we have 14 senior villages here in the city, and frankly, a growing political force also. And I would invite those, if you don't have a senior village, this would be a good place to form one around what's emerging here. There'll be a teen lounge also. There'll be an arts and crafts room, a computer room, a full-size, commercial teaching kitchen. There'll be multi-purpose rooms, and there will be a fitness center for people who want to work hard to keep themselves fit. The new facility will be connected to the existing pool house, which is going to be renovated. It will have an upgraded pool deck that will be available to anybody who wants to use them. The field house, that would be that, right? You know, we have a disappearing number of field houses in the District of Columbia, and that's a good thing, isn't it? You know, a lot of us grew up with field houses. That's all. That was the rec center, the field house, unless it was inside of a school down in the basement in the dark somewhere, and I'm sure we remember those as well. But in any event, the field house will be upgraded for bathroom facilities that will help support the activities that go on over on the athletic fields. We'll have on-site parking. We'll have new outdoor basketball courts that will be available also. There'll be a new playground, there'll be landscaping, and there will be additional lighting. And don't we think every resident, no matter where they live, should have a safe place to be able to recreate? Yeah. Recreate is a great word, just all in the pronunciation. It's either recreate or recreate. And so we are recreating and we are recreating also. By the way, are you all aware that we have been named by Forbes magazine as the coolest city in America? Sounds good to me, man. You know, I want to be cool. But, you know, maybe more important for today's purposes, the American College of Sports Medicine also has named us the #1 fittest city in America at this stage. And that is really a good thing. Minneapolis had that designation for 2 or 3 consecutive years, and we told them we were coming for them. And now we have overtaken them, and we are the fittest city in America. We also, you know, there's 3,000 parks and recreation departments in the nation. And we're now one of 112. That's only about 3 or 4%. Our DPR, our Department of Parks and Recreation, is accredited nationally, and that's the first time in the history of our DPR in this city that we have been accredited. And of course, the Play DC initiative, some of you all will recall 2 or 3 years ago, we made a commitment to modernize 8 playgrounds. Then we found some more money. We added 24 to that. Then we found some more money. We added 8 to that. So in total, we have a commitment to 40 modernization of 40 playgrounds, and we finished 27 of them now, and there will be more finished before the year is out. And they really, each one is themed. Each one has its own theme for its own purposes as developed by the community. And we just dedicated one to Sherwood on Saturday. And it is really nice. It has a nature theme. Or if you go to Rosedale, you'll see it has a monument theme. How many have been to Rosedale? Rosedale is really nice. So anyway, this new center will be finished in December of 2015. And we are going to make sure that this thing moves along as it should to be able to get done as quickly as possible. We're delighted to have with us today the council member from Ward 7 who has joined us to be a part of this groundbreaking. And again, this is an important thing to her. It's an important thing to me. It's an important initiative to a lot of people. In fact, is Michael Washington here? Where is he? Okay. Now there's the advocate's advocate right there. How about a big hand for Michael? We've worked with him since the beginning. It wouldn't have been the same without you, Michael. Anyway, please join me in welcoming the council member from Ward 7, Council Member Yvette Alexander.
All right.
Good morning. I have to give a couple of shout outs this morning. I see the Ridge Road crew back there in the back. Let's give them a hand. And Michael, you already mentioned the community. I see the Goldens here, that you're pleased for your new community center. And Mr. Sonny Hicks, thank you for your many years. Mr. Hicks and I go way, way back. And Mr. Gray, Mayor Gray, I remember the field houses too. So now we can say community center, which I'm really pleased about. Mr. Mayor, once again, a million thank yous to you for keeping the promise. And I see the entire community here, Our Lady Queen of Peace, some of the residents, our ANC commissioners, our president of the Benning Ridge Civic Association, Sharon Shanklin Brown, our commissioners, Linda Green, George Brown, Mr. Ted Howard back there in the back, the community, Ms. Constance Woody. Thank you all for your advocacy, because it takes a village, it takes a community to demand the things that they want. And then the mayor answered the call, and I'm going to ensure, Mr. Mayor, that that money stays in the budget for as long as it takes to get this bill. We have to watch that money. The mayor is very gracious, and the council has to make sure that that money stays in place to get the job done. So, Mr. Mayor, we're really excited about the Ridge Road Community Center, the Ridge Road Titans. This is a wonderful, wonderful complex. Let's give it up for the Ridge Road Titans, too. This is a wonderful, wonderful center, a wonderful community. I'm glad to represent you. And it's been a long time coming, and now that day is here. So I'm anxious for the groundbreaking and the ribbon cutting. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, community, Benning Ridge community.
My job is to make sure we spend that money as quickly as possible, and that's what we're going to do. And I'll talk a little bit about the project in a second. But before I do that, I just want to say a special thanks to our mayor, Vincent C. Gray, who, in my opinion, I was born and raised in this city, and it's my hometown, and I believe he's been the best mayor we've ever had. And it's been an honor of a lifetime to serve him and our city, and I'm so grateful that he entrusted me with the responsibility of leading the Department of General Services. We, as he said, are about to have our third anniversary. They've been sort of like dog years, the last three. They're the age 7 for every one, but we're holding in there, and I think we're doing all right. Of course, want to thank Councilmember Alexander and Commissioners Green and Jackson back there, and I have to say hello to Miss Thornhill right there. So it's either you or there's a bunch of impersonators all over the place, because every time I go to one of these events, I see you. But anyway, good morning, all. Again, our projects are, we work at DGS to make sure that we design with the voice of the community reflected in the product that is built. So we believe in design excellence and construction excellence and in taking care of our facilities, and we're committed to doing that. And of course, with all of our projects, we work towards making them the most sustainable, green, and environmentally friendly buildings that they can be. And we also, another component of sustainability is making sure that the contracting dollars that are spent are actually benefiting district-based companies. And so we have at the Department of General Services, by law, required to spend 35% of our contracting dollars with certified business enterprises. But at DGS, we said that's not good enough. So we set internally a goal of 50% minimum of our contracting dollars going to CBEs. And in order to help us achieve not only that, but also making sure district residents get hired, we created a program called the Workforce Incentive Program. And thank you. That program, which we use actually with all of our capital projects and our operating projects, our maintenance crews, and when we've got folks out there cleaning sites or doing landscaping, we have pushed that initiative across our portfolio, and 45% of the hours worked in the last 2 years have been by district residents. So we're making sure that district residents benefit by keeping the jobs here and by helping our economy grow locally. So I want to thank our team, and I guess in about 8 or 10 minutes we'll actually we're going to turn some dirt, and that signifies the beginning of the expenditure of the of the project budget. $16 million is about to start. Our architects are Cox Gray Spack. I'm very excited about this building. It is going to be a beautiful, beautiful product. I want to thank the community for being such active participants in the process. And give yourselves a round of applause. There you go. The buildings don't just happen, and if they do, there's something wrong. If it needs to be based on what the community says it needs and wants. And of course, we've got to make that work around the budget that we have available. But I think we're going to have just a beautiful, beautiful building here. I'm excited about that. I know Tompkins Builders is going to do a great job putting this together, and they've done great work for us elsewhere in the city, and this will be no exception. Both Cox Gray Spack and Tompkins are CBEs. I want to name a couple of others: Robert Silman Associates, Global Engineering Solutions, Green Shape LLC. These are all CBEs. And then, of course, on our project team, June Locker is actually not here this morning, but she leads the Capital Construction Division for Department of General Services, and she's responsible for making me look good. She does great work. On our project team, Jennifer Battle and Jackie Stanley. How many people here know Jackie Stanley? You got both of them great. I got Alfonso and Marcos over there. Our design concept architects are Sorg, another CBE firm. And again, I want to thank the Benning Ridge Civic Association, the Friends of Ridge Road, the Ridge Road Goldens. And I know that you got a nice big round of applause, Mr. Mayor, when you said there was going to be a senior component in here. So my guess is you folks might be using it. The Ridge Road Parent Association, and of course, again, Commissioners Green, Jackson, and Brown. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Ward 7. Good morning. Oh, wait, hold on. This is a great day. Y'all said it wasn't going to come, but today is the day. Good morning, Ward 7. Good morning. All right. Welcome to the Ridge Road Recreation Center groundbreaking. This is a recreation center. As the mayor mentioned, there's going to be a community center that's going to be right over there. So, good morning. I would first of all like to thank a person who's had a vision. Again, there have been so many projects in this city that have been stalled, haven't gone forward. Every day at DPR, we get you know what, these projects are actually moving forward. Things are actually happening. Well, you know what? This is all happening because of one man, and that's Vincent C. Gray. Under his leadership, DPR has reached heights never before seen. As he mentioned, with our Play DC initiative, DPR is able to renovate 40 playgrounds, the largest playground renovation in DC history. Under his watch, DPR became accredited for the first time. This is a serious recognition, and it shows how serious this mayor is about parks and recreation. Also, the mayor he's just visionary. With his support, DPR is also able to develop a master plan which will enable the department to clearly define the needs of the district residents now in the next 20 years. Who thought? We don't just put up a center now. We just don't renovate just willy-nilly. We have a plan, a benchmark, a roadmap. We didn't have that before Mayor Vincent C. Gray. So, you know what? Because he doesn't know the word impossible, he made possible for DPR and district residents. He made it possible for us to rise to another level that we only dare dream possible. So thank you, Mayor. Thank you. I would also like to thank Councilmember Alexander for her support of DPR and her unending drive to ensure that residents of Ward 7 have the best services and programs available. She consistently pushes DPR to think outside the box. Thank you, Councilmember. I would also like to acknowledge our DGS Director, Brian Hanlon, and the DGS team for literally and figuratively making DPR look good. We came up here this morning and someone said, you know what, there was a little bit of trash. Brian was on his phone right now, just taking care of it. She was like, oh my gosh, he's taking care of it right now. That's what we do. We get it taken care of, and Brian Hanlon, we thank you and your team. Today is truly a victory for the community, and the community is very involved in this project. I think I was at probably at least 10 of these 15 meetings that we've had over the course of a couple of years. In fact, at that point, Jackie Stanley was with DPR, and we would go together as DPR, and now Jackie Stanley's with DGS, and we still go to these meetings. So Jackie, you're still an honorary member of DPR. You can't go anywhere. Thank you, Commissioners George Brown and Linda. You are true pillars in the community, and the residents are lucky to have you as partners. Commissioner Green and I are pretty much tied at the hip when it comes to Fort Davis Recreation Center, and her passion for residents is unparalleled. So thank you, Commissioners. We also have with us President Sharon Shanklin Brown from the Benning Ridge Civic Association, and for the Friends of Ridge Road, we have Vice President Barbara Green. Let me just tell you something. It's really important that you recognize how important these community groups are. At DPR, we can't do it all. We just can't do it all. And we rely on our friends of groups and these civic associations to help us out, to help keep us on our toes, but also help us monitor what's really going on in these communities. So these are great community leaders, and we're glad to have them today. So, you know what? DPR, we came strong today for you. Do we have any DPR staff out here? Wow, okay, all right. I'd like to thank a couple people from our DPR staff. I'd like to thank our new Chief Operating Officer, Jeffrey McGinnis. There's Jeffrey over there. All these projects that we're doing, guess what? They're gonna fall with Jeffrey. So you guys be easy on Jeffrey, all right? We have also our our Chief of Community Recreation, Tony Thompson. Tony, show of hand. She's responsible for, there's 462 people at DPR. She's responsible for about 400 of them. So Tony has a big job. I see Jennifer Hamilton back there in the audience. If Jennifer Hamilton is here today, ladies and gentlemen, that means that the seniors, you got a good thing going, because Jennifer Hamilton is in charge of all things seniors at DPR. She runs all of our events, and she's our go-to person when it comes to seniors. So if you see her in the house, you know you got a good thing going as far as seniors are concerned. I want to thank also our project manager for this, Stacy West. Where's Stacy? Stacy's back there. She just celebrated her first ribbon cutting for a renovation over the weekend at Sherwood. So again, thank you for being here, Stacy. Also want to thank Kaya. Where's Kaya? Kaya, my communications department, Jackie and Olga and Alice, our volunteers. So we got everybody here for you today. So the mayor mentioned some stats. Again, DPR, we have 92 playgrounds, 68 recreation centers, 40 aquatic features, 375 parks, 1,000 acres of green space, 120 play courts, and a partridge in a pear tree. But what you may not know, again, is that DPR, we're staff of about 462 folks who service all of the 660 residents in the city. So we take care of all the residents in the city and their dogs, because we have dog parks. DPR staff, if you didn't know, we're often babysitters, social workers, teachers, upholders of the law, mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters to anyone and everyone who comes into our facilities. And so I want you to thank the DPR staff and just recognize that we try to do our best to make sure that you have the best services. We got a lot of stuff going on, right? So we try to get it right. Today is an example of things going right. I know this day has been long in coming, and some doubt it would ever come, but today, this train leaves the station in a couple of minutes. This, I want you to recognize also, for those of you who don't know, this is the new DPR. This is your new government. This is the new normal. Calls get answered, issues get resolved, and customer service is at an all-time high. So this is what you have come to expect. And again, we have our mayor to thank for this, but this is not the old government. You hear people say, oh, back in the day, things didn't get done, facilities would be broken for 20 years. This is not that government, ladies and gentlemen. This is the new government. We are here to serve you, and we hope that we're going to be continue to do a great job. Again, DPR, we're excited about our accreditation, which shows that we are very serious at providing quality services and programs. We are serious about mapping out our future and your future. I leave you with this. While the core of work at DPR is fun, we are involved in serious fun. Thank you very much. We look forward to seeing you at the ribbon cutting.
This is truly a joyful day. This is a day that a lot thought would never happen. But for the naysayers, it is truly happening now. My name is Commissioner Brown, Commissioner for 7E01. And between the president of Benning Ridge Civic Association, we dove into this project head first. We were told it would never happen. You'll never get the money back. And we are so far out here in the East, people don't even think about us. But I just want to thank Mr. Mayor, Vincent Gray, who pulled my wife and I to the side one day and said, why y'all two butting your ears up against the wall? Don't you know I control the budget? Why are you dealing with these folks? How come you're not dealing with me? Now, by me being prime military, we always work from the bottom up, not from the top down. So now I got a lesson. I learned how to deal with the civic government. Top down, no more bottom up. And this is what I see, what happens when you deal from the top down. You get results, spurious results. Now, I would like to take this time to mention Ms. Jane Thompson. Ms. Jane Thompson was a community worker, Thomas, Thomas, community worker, a friend of Benning Ridge Road, and the Golden also. But we will not stop here. We will keep moving forward. As this project moves, I'm going to move right along with it. I'm going to do my drop-ins, drive-bys, and see what's going on, and it meets our demands. If it doesn't, we will get with the contractors. I'm not worried about where the money came from this time, because I know it's good money, and it's in its place, and it's going to work for us. But on all, over, I am very excited. I am very happy. And let's get to work. Let's put Benning Ridge Community Center on the map, if not the best community center, but one of the best community centers in the city. Thank you.
And truly, it's an honor and it is a privilege. And just thank God for our Mayor Vincent Gray. Because without his wisdom and his commitment, we wouldn't be where we are today. I thank him for the appointee of the agency directorates, because that's important too when you have your directorates who are working with you and not against you. So he has the right directorate. I want to also acknowledge our council member, Yvette M. Alexander, for being faithful and steadfast, and for always listening to when I call her and ask her, can she be a certain place? And she says, Linda, whatever you ask of me, I will do. And so I thank her for her commitment as well. Also for our chair, Mary Jackson of 7E. She works very hard, very, very, very hard. And whether you know it or not, it's a major task being an ANC commissioner. A lot of work, because we do not get a stipend. We do not get paid. And you have to be committed in order to get the work done. And Mary Jackson is a very hard worker, so I want to acknowledge her for her patience and her commitment. And I also want to take time to recognize the partner organizations, because just like Mayor Gray said, without the partner organizations, you need them as an armed support group organizations. We don't want to forget. So as I look out at the Ridge Road Goldens, they remind me of the community elders. Somebody has to give advice to those of us who are coming up the ranks. I've been advised all of my life coming up the ranks. And I was telling Michael Washington, with whom I grew up with, I grew up over in this community. I went to Davis Elementary School, I went to Sousa, and I went to Ballou. Didn't get a chance to get into Anacostia. And then from there, I went on to Strayers. And so I am back in the community. God has sent me back home. And I don't live that far, but I just want to say thank you to Mr. Hamlin for being supportive of me, to Mr. John Stokes. I'm finding out about Barbara Green, who's the president of the Friends of the Ridge Road Community Center. So I want to be correct. I also want to acknowledge those community volunteers who come up here and give all their hours of commitment. And that's important, because when you have people who come and volunteer and don't look for a pay, those are the persons that you want to keep in front of you and on your side, because they are there to support the cause. So with having to say that, the perseverance, the commitment, the patience, and this is truly a time of celebration for us today, this morning. I have not been in this center in 45 years. I had to count it this morning. 45 years. We used to come up here. I was a pom-pom girl. We learned how to march, how to do the twirls, how to do the batons. And so I'm going to be 100 supportive of whatever the task is asked of me. Sonny Hicks, I haven't seen in a long time. And a lot of times you have to reach back to the to the Ridge Road crew. A lot of them, I was about 5 years behind them, but we all grew up in the same development. So with having to say that, to Sharon Sheiklin Brown, who is the president of the Benning Ridge Civic Association. Very important, very important. And so we thank her and her husband, George Brown, who is commissioner, for all the work they've done. We want to recognize the clergy, community, very, very, very important. Reverend Henry Gaskins, I was about 4 years behind him. So he said he remembered. He said, Linda, you haven't changed. Reverend Minor of First Rock Baptist Church, mentor. Thank you for the correction. And Father Sapp. So with having to say that, just want to thank you all for allowing me to participate in this great and grand occasion this morning, which is historical. Thank you.
Good morning, Benning Ridge. I'm Sharon Shanklin Brown, for those of you who do not know me. It's an honor, as always, to be here, to be a part of the community, and the thing that impresses me most about this community is that you have a lot of leaders who are Washingtonians, which means they have given back. They didn't just, come up, grow up, get educated, and move on. They're still here, and they're still doing a great work for the community. I, too, would like to thank the mayor most heartily for all your support and for every ounce of his energy that he has put into this project, and he kept his promise. I have in the audience that no one has recognized, and that's Patricia Montague. Stand up, Patricia. Patricia is the lady that you all get all the emails from. Those of you that have been to the meetings and you receive information via email, it's coming from Pat. The new voice, Jane Thomas used to be the voice on the phone that would notify you when things were happening for those of you that didn't have email. Well, the new voice is Barbara Hansberry. So I just want you all to be familiar with those names. Reverend Mentor, I want to personally thank you for allowing us to have meetings in your church pertaining to the development of this center. And Reverend Gaskins, I want to thank you as well for being available anytime we needed you or when you heard that there was a meeting. You were always there. It's always nice to know that the community is present. Reverend Sass, I just met you. But, you may get a call from me as well. We may need your facility as well. And I know there are a lot of worshipers sitting right here that if they're not Baptists, they're down there at Queen of Peace. So, but anyway, we're all excited. And I being a former physical education and health teacher before I became a principal in D.C. public schools, I know a lot about recreation centers. I know a lot about children. I know a lot about activities. And I even know a lot about seniors because we were beginning to do the intergenerational thing. So someone asked me, well, how is that going to work out with the children and the seniors up there? It's going to work. First of all, the children should be in school during the day. And we're hoping that the seniors will have the facility mostly in the morning for their activities. And if they choose to come up on the weekend, I'm sure there's a fit staff, a strong enough staff, and a capable staff that will make sure that everything works in order. So with that, I want to say thank you for everything that the community has done to support and also for the city officials that have come forward to support as well, because without all of us working together, none of this would have been possible. Thank you very much.
Only Mike would do that. I want to say good morning to everyone. Let me clarify something. Oftentimes, Sonny Hicks and some of the staff here at Ridge Road make me feel like I'm the president of this 501c Friends of group, which is the only one in this Ward 7 area. But I am the vice president. I am not the president. But thank you anyway. And then they often say, good things come last. And I feel like this is a good thing. And I'm just really overexcited about what's happening today, because every good thing, you have to wait on it. So I want to personally first acknowledge and thank God, and thank some of those that have come out as well to be here for this occasion. We have, I had to scan the audience, now I see him. We have our commissioner, who is head of the football here today, Mr. Mike Keys. I thank you, Mike, for taking off your good government job to be here. I think a person that I met that gave me a hard time when I first started out with the Football Association some years ago, gave me a really hard time. But, you know, hard things don't come to you unless it's something that's going to be worthwhile in spending your time for. And that's also Mr. Eric Holland, who brought a lot of kids here. Eric served as our commissioner for football for years. And he's decided to step down, but he has not stepped out, because we're going to make sure he stays in the game. Then I want to say that you all know Mike Washington, Mayor, but behind every great man is a great woman. And Mike Washington, without me being here engaged in this, Mike Washington, and I'm Mike, I got it. He always giving directions. Tyrone Amos has also been in the front line of battle for this new center. I want to thank all of those people for pulling me in to be a part of this. I'm not going to say I have not worked hard. I've worked all night. I talk to people constantly, and we are finally here. And I can truly say it's been a long time, a long time. But I thank you, Mayor Gray, City Council, DPR, and those in the community, especially our seniors. They are so always involved with Friends of. And I want to thank our neighboring churches, Denny's, Safeway. You guys just don't know. I want to thank everybody for their support here at Ridge Road for the Ridge Road Center. But as vice president of the Center of Friends of in this ward, there are a lot of children that are suffering every day, that are here every day without clothing, without food, somebody they need to talk to, somebody that needs to mentor them. And that's what this center has always been about. Sonny runs a center. He runs a strict center. We're looking for Sonny to be back here when this new building is built on this ground. We're looking for that. All of the supporters, and this new center will definitely not be underutilized. One occasion I can remember was speaking at City Council, and I spoke to Tommy Wells, who was there, and I think Ms. Williams was not available. I think also, in addition to that, Councilwoman Alexander was not there that day I spoke. However, I pleaded to him about how we needed these funds. And he said to me, Ms. Green, I've already spoke with the mayor. I've already spoke with Ms. Alexander, and they are on board for this new center. And I said, well, thank you. That's all I needed to know was Mrs. Alexander and the mayor was on board to get these funds for this center. So I stand here today and can finally say thank you. Thanks for what's starting of something bigger and something better for this community. And I know it's a dream that's coming true. Thanks a lot.